Hi everyone, I'm back with a kind of a personal video today, and it's something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a while, and it's about co-parenting. For those of you who might not know, I am not with my son's dad, and that's actually okay because we're all much happier like this. I have my other half, Mark, who is a complete babe and I love him to bits, and we parent William when he's here. I'm classed, I suppose, as the primary caregiver. I have William 5 days a week. And then William will spend 2 days a week with his dad, and that is an arrangement that we have come to ourselves. It's nothing legal happened. It was something that worked for us, and it's something that we're going to continue to do. The reason why I'm making this video is just because there's not much out there from a personal perspective. When I first became like a single parent initially, I did not know what to do. I did not know how I was supposed to handle things. I didn't want to read a load of legal stuff. I didn't want to read advice from, you know, professionals who like have experience in the area. I wanted to know how other people dealt with it. So these are kind of my, maybe they're tips, maybe they're advice, maybe they're things I wish I'd known at the time. Every parent's different, every situation's different, every family's different, but if it could help someone, then that's kind of the main purpose of this video. Because I wish I'd had this when I was you know, first in the situation. So I've written them down on my phone, so you don't need to see me rambling on like I sometimes do, because I know I've got a bad habit for it. So my first point is, and it's a really obvious one, but be civil. It's just the simplest thing, but when you first split from your other half, whether it is mutual, whether he left you or she left you or you left them, or it just ended up exploding, it happens. And the most obvious thing throughout all of that is that person has gone from being, you know, once upon a time your best friend in life to maybe someone that you would put on an enemy list. It happens. Maybe someone that you just don't like, maybe someone that you are pretty neutral to, but that person is no longer a person that you choose to have in your life. That's why people split up, isn't it? So it's natural for you to like have feelings towards them that aren't like positive ones, and the hardest thing about a split that involves children is that when you normally split from someone and there are children involved, you can remove that person from your life and you can move on. But moving on when children are involved is a very long drawn out process, and it's a hard process. Because you don't want to speak to that person anymore. You certainly don't want to speak to that person about your child, the person who matters the most to you in the world. But be civil. Like, one of my biggest challenges earlier on, when I just wanted to explode about the situation, was I wanted to go on social media. I wanted to rant to people. I wanted to put people right, and I wanted to give my opinion, and I wanted to let like my emotions go. I don't hate my son's dad. He's a really good dad, and I, yeah, wouldn't have a drink with him in a pub, and he wouldn't have a drink with me, but I would definitely, you know, not gun the guy down. But it was really hard. But try your hardest to like keep it off social media. Try your hardest to like keep it to people that, you know, are ready to be there for you. Like, if you put things on like social media, for example, or you rant to mutual friends, it can make people feel really uncomfortable, and it might be one day something that your child sees. And you know, we all live our lives the way we want to, but I do really believe that when it comes to the father or the mother of your child, if you're not with them anymore, you have to give your child the respect to work out their own opinion on their parent without yours influencing it. Because just because you don't like someone anymore doesn't mean that your child will, and it doesn't mean that they're a bad parent. And it's such a hard thing to come to terms with. I really battled with it. But I'm really, really glad that I stuck to that, and I hope that, you know, William's dad has done the same as well. And it's not just about social media, it's about in front of family. I would never ever slag William off. No, I would never ever slag William's dad off to William's face. I would never say anything derogatory like that. And I've made it like clear, like, you know, family doesn't do that either. Because that's my son's dad. That's like, you know, one of his best people in the world, and I am never, ever, ever going to influence that. The next point I have here is be reasonable. Again, on this topic, it's really, really hard not to get to let emotions get in the way when you're trying to work out who has the children, when at first you'll be as difficult as you can be, because you'll be like, no, that's my child, I want to be with my child. You won't want to be flexible because you think, why should I? But you have to, like, slowly, and it will take time, learn to be reasonable. Understand that sometimes, like, when your work commitments change, their work commitments might change. Maybe they want a breakaway with their other half, and it is really hard because you don't want to do any favours for that person. I understand that, that's fair enough. But, you know, if you want them to be reasonable towards you and respect your views as a parent, then you need to do that back, or at least try. And it is really, really hard, but I found that made things so much easier, at least in our situation, because I know that, like, my actions are ones that William would be proud of. The next one is let things go. This is probably one of the ones that I do struggle with the most, and I'm trying not to get upset because it's a year on, it's over a year now, and obviously life is very, very different. But my issue initially was just letting go of the fact that I wasn't going to be that role anymore. I wasn't going to be mummy all the time, even though I'm mummy in my heart, and William always knows he's got a mummy. I am for 2 days of the week. I am not part of my son's life, and there are things that I will never know about my son's life. Like, I don't know what his other bedroom looks like, and I don't know what he had for tea last night, because if you're wondering, your house is very quiet, so he's obviously not here now. But you have to learn to let go. You have to learn to understand that you can't control certain parts anymore, and that is just going to be something you've got to, like, put from your mind, because I have been haunted by it. I have obsessed over it like you wouldn't believe, and I think it's really important to eventually, when you feel ready, to just try really hard to not focus on that. This was advice actually that two parents gave to me, and it was very early on that they gave it to me, and I struggled at the time to understand how I could ever do that, but they were right, and it will come, and it does help. The next point is prepare for opinions. People will have opinions on what you do a lot, and they mean really well. It might come from family, because family will sever ties with your other half very quickly, most likely, because, you know, the people that love you have always got your back, and they'll probably fight your battles better than you'll ever fight your own. But it's alright to, like, ask for help and ask for opinions, but it doesn't always mean that you have to act on those opinions. You'll get opinions from friends, you'll get opinions from family, you'll get opinions from strangers. I've had that, but you just need to know that your decision is what counts, and if you listen to any opinion, listen to those little opinions that are in your heart, like those of your children. You know, your child loves mummy or daddy, and your child will soon, especially as they get older, have opinions of their own, and those are the ones that you need to listen to. The next one after that is try and control the guilt. It's quite related to letting go, but even when you've let go, you will feel guilt over letting go. You will feel guilt on the nights that they're not with you, because you feel like you're enjoying yourself. I still go on dates with Mark, and we call them date nights, I know it's soppy, but I will go on them and I will feel guilty. I will sit there and I will think, I can't believe that I'm doing this right now, and like I'm not with William, I can't believe that I'm happy like having this meal at a table without a child, because it's a little bit easier, and I can't believe that I'm sat in a cinema, which I hadn't done for a long time. But you have to let go of that guilt, and you have to also let go of the fact that you can't make up for lost time. You can't you can cram things in and you can spend quality time with your children, but sometimes your children will be naughty and you'll have to tell them off, and you'll have to roll your eyes, and you'll have to like put them to bed and get on the sofa and drink wine and be like, oh thank God. And you'll feel guilty about that, because you'll be like, he's going to his dad's tomorrow. This happened this week. William has been really acting up recently, which goes on to my next point. And me and Mark had to put him to bed without a book. We put him to bed, we still said like, I love you. We still tucked him in, gave him a kiss, but we didn't do a book because that's a big treat for William and he really, really enjoys it. And we were trying to do that because he's been acting out, and we wanted to teach him like, you know, that's not on, kiddo. And it's horrible, because then suddenly removing that thing which you all enjoy, it's not just a punishment for them, it's a punishment for you, even though I hate that word. But it's really hard, because then you come downstairs and you're like, oh, he's going to his dad's tomorrow and our last night together has been awful. But that means you still have to parent, and you still have to stick by your guns, you still have to do chores, you still have to go, not in a sec darling, like 5 minutes, mummy's just doing this. And that is just a part of life, and you need to let go of it, because honest to God, I've been there. I am the biggest, like, I am the guiltiest mum. But it's okay, and like it does get better. And I'm sorry for getting like upset, because it's not useful, is it? I'm here to like try and help you out, and instead I'm like trying not to cry. But the next point, and I've only got 2 more, is be patient with your children. When it happened for us, William was 18 months old, so his memory of anything before that, especially now, is very minimal. He didn't notice the disruption. It was particularly easy for us because me and his father worked different hours, and William is a very, very confident and friendly chap, so he welcomed Mark with the smallest little open arms I've ever seen, and they are really, really close, and I'm very, very lucky for that. But as I was saying before, as they get older, particularly at this age, I find where William is in limbo, he's like not yet a boy, not yet a toddler. No, I'm not a toddler, not yet a boy. He's having a Britney phase. He can't quite communicate what he feels, but he's getting there, so he's frustrated and he's acting out. I notice a particular difference when he comes home on a Friday and some of Saturday, and so does my mum, because my mum has William during the day when I'm at work. So the best thing I've been trying to do is maintain, like, you know, trying to bring my lad up right, and or at least how I feel is right, and also like being patient and understand what he's trying to tell me, because a lot of the times he'll be very clingy, a lot of the time he'll be frustrated, and particularly he started noticing the change in routine and struggling with that. And it really is hard, because you start looking at tantrums in a different way, and you might over dissect them, as I'm sure I do sometimes, but you also start noticing like patterns, and you notice when they're struggling, and that's really difficult, and you won't know what's wrong with them always. But it's just trying to be there, and I guess the only thing you can do is just like love them and be consistent with them. Have that routine in place, because it really, really does help, and work together, whether or not it's two couples that are working together to raise this child, or it's you and your other half, or you know, one of you has another half and the other one doesn't. Like, just work together, because your child needs that. And then my last point is, like, it's not a rule, but cry if you want to, like, get it out. Like, don't be brave about it, and don't feel like ashamed that you're finding it hard either. I've always tried to be pretty honest about how I've been finding things, because I think it's really important. I have been very blessed to have an amazing guy by my side, God, I love him so much, and I'm so grateful for him, and I'm so grateful that he loves us both, and he is brilliant, and he's changed our world completely. But it's still really, really hard, and there are a lot of challenges, and sometimes you just need to cry and like let it out, and it does help. I'm gonna be honest that I cry at least once a week about my situation, and I'm sure that there are mums that are much further ahead than me that might say, don't worry, it gets better, it's fine, and you will still have moments, don't get me wrong, but it gets better. And you might be crying every day at the moment if you're watching this, but I used to be like that, and I'm getting better. So just like hang in there and just try and do the best. Like, you might make mistakes like I did, you might do things that you regret like I've done. But if this video helps to know that A, like, you're not alone, or B, it gives you some advice, or C, you just were curious about what it's like co-parenting, then I hope it helped. I need some pizza or something now, or a takeaway or something like that. I'm on my own tonight, and I'm gonna try and make the best of it. So thank you for watching, and yeah, if you want more like advice videos from me or just like personal stories, then let me know. Otherwise, have an amazing day, time, whatever you're doing, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.